We either win or we learn, and I feel like I learned so much in this fight, and we're only gonna get better.
Go numb. He just says, go numb. I have vehicle. That's heart of a lion. And I still had a pain. It's out of the will that I put. Like, I'm not, you will, you know what I mean? Like, you and me, we wear the same pants.
Hello. Regard your soldiers as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Look upon them as your own beloved sons, and they will stand by you even against the abyss of no return. Throw your soldiers into positions whence there is no escape, and they will prefer giving their lives to flight. If they face the abyss, there is nothing they may not achieve. Officers and men alike will put forth their utmost strength for victory. Go numb. Go numb. This is what Adesanya's corner told him before the final round had begun, and with it, you saw conviction in his eyes rare amongst the common man. In the finale, he entered a state comparable to the animations he often quotes. Numb. All emotion had left him. The only desire he had was victory. For that end, he was willing to give his life, even if it meant taking Gastelum's. This was a very close bout. And I've mentioned before that Kelvin is one of my favorite fighters simply because he's this small Mexican man who outskills his opponents with his chin as his only advantage. His short stature, short wingspan, that lack of reach, somehow he's managed to turn all of his so-called disadvantages into his advantages. Nothing but respect. For many high-level fighters, using the end of their reach to pick their opponents apart is their game, but with Gastelum, when he loses in reach, he gains in tremendous power. He has that touch that can stiffen a man cold. How? It's a very different technique, but similar philosophy to Mike Tyson's. Entering in on his opponent's reach, covering that big space, it creates momentum. Mike Tyson used head movement to generate momentum, often slipping in against his opponent's slower, rangier shots only to harness that kinetic energy generated into his punch. Pair that with his ability to set up his shots, and the result you got was often a high tier of power his opponents never saw coming. Gastelum, on the other hand, plays his game hands down. There is no guard, and it is very powerful, especially due to that hands down style. Head movement and distance management, sheer threat from the power he possesses. It often keeps his opponents at bay. Is it worth it? Going against that durable chin to make that trade. Very dangerous offense, which through respect naturally forms his defense. His devastating blows come from when he jolts into the pocket. Moving into his opponent's reach, he gauges with his jab and pivots all of that kinetic energy from his leap into a powerful cross. If he had the same reach or height as his opponents, there would be no point in covering that much space. Thus, naturally, he would not jolt in to cover that distance, which innately would not harness the same level of momentum. Covering space creates momentum, and his relaxed, hands-down style harnesses all that kinetic energy into a baseball pitch of a punch. If he stood still and pivoted from where he stood, it would not have the same effect. It's his ability to harness that forward momentum through the hands-down style which makes it so dangerous. Relaxation. Relaxation is the key because it gives the body access to your fascia. From there, stepping in and slinging from a wide range of motion, Kelvin often ends up executing his technique faster than his opponents can move away or pull the shot. That is his secret. What he has in smaller attributes, he gains in speed, lighter footwork, thus an ability to catapult his entire mass against a single point. The man's dome. This is why jab cross, Kelvin, lands on everyone. He perhaps has the best jab cross in mixed martial arts for this reason. The speed of execution, paired with the fact that his bigger, heavier opponents are typically slower than smaller opponents, Blessed with his durable chin, like lightning, he catches them before the proper defensive reaction can be formed. With it, versus one of the highest level kickboxers in the world, Israel Adesanya. He caught even him, rocking him early, flattening that footwork. This match was very traumatic for me. Kelvin has always been one of my favorite fighters long before I even knew who Israel Adesanya was, but I knew Adesanya was a star. I knew it the moment he entered the UFC. I expressed this understanding instantly because I was so confident in what I saw. Adesanya was a star. It wasn't his physical talent that secured my understanding. It was his philosophy, his unique expression of self. It was the same as what many greats before him had carried, with the difference being, of course, that unique individual expression. As I acknowledged this, shared what I felt and saw, he showed us gratitude by shouting me out in return.
Oh, Mind Smash, YouTube, Mind Smash.
Oh.
Yeah, check out that video on Mind Smash.
I saw something interesting recently. Mind Smash put a video on this guy who,
As a content creator, I could not have been any more grateful. Thank you, Israel Adesanya. Thus, if I had to pick a side, it would have to be Adesanya's for this reason, even though my philosophy is to never get emotionally attached to any side, as naturally forming a biased or clouded judgment. For this reason, disinterest is often promoted alongside the scientific method when observing variables, as it keeps one's mind cold of the good or bad. The truth, it often lies not at good or evil, but somewhere between those poles as a shade of gray. With it, what I saw was Gastelum being a real threat. There was no way a man with the execution speed of Gastelum was missing all of his shots early. He would land something, and with that burst of forward momentum, what we saw was perhaps Adesanya's first real sign of taking damage in the UFC. Lead hook, right at the end of reach. This flattened Adesanya's footwork. When Kelvin Gastelum touches anyone, they will likely not react to it well. And the fact he has such a durable chin, entering in on him hardly feels worth a trade. Prepare for the Taekwondo chamber into question mark kick. Pair that with the reduced forward getting clipped clean. Adesanya had little answer but the pull and poke at the end of his reach. His kicks were not finding the entry they needed, thus he often relied on his head movement and footwork to establish or maintain safe range. Every one of these shots are dangerous, giving glint into the tier of composure Adesanya has in these high-stress moments. A rare individual indeed, a different breed altogether. One mistake versus the heavy hands of Gastelum could have cost the fight, but this is the level of mind Adesanya has. With it, he eventually found exit, evading Gastelum's power. He's not thinking. He's flowing with the moment.
I thought about it, but thing is, when I think about it, don't do it. Just go. Like that elbow. I didn't think about it. You just flow.
Only the names have been changed. Here. Only the names have been changed.
Sun Tzu, the art of war. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Adesanya was picking up momentum for a few reasons. First, his low kicks and body shots were adding up. Too much trauma to the tendons and ribs will make it harder to move and breathe. Without footwork, there will be a dramatic decrease in Kelvin's power. Pair that with the fact that Kelvin was slinging power over and over again, it was inevitable that he would slow down. Textbook boxing punches are much more economical in their energy expenditure, but from firing power from that hands-down style, over and over again, that range of motion that makes it so dangerous, for that same virtue, it makes it all the more taxing. Slowing down, Adesanya's coach gave him the next piece to the puzzle. Adesanya, you have to be the aggressor. Be the aggressor. This is where Adesanya's reaction time outweighed Gastelum's speed. The rust of fatigue and damage had tarnished Kelvin's speed of execution, thus Adesanya was more effectively pulling fire for his window of return. Go numb, making Adesanya cold and concise to the moment. Be the aggressor, limiting Kelvin's power-generating footwork, forcing him to rely on his exhausted basic fundamentals. At this state, pulling a will that almost appeared from another world, you could see it in his eyes. He was a man at the brink, ready to give everything. And as Sun Tzu had said, when you face that darkness, that abyss of no return, there is nothing that you cannot achieve. Coming back from a clean head kick, adjusting his game throughout the course of the fight, and evading power throughout the fight, this was unbelievable. Even in the way Kelvin handled the loss, I left it all out there. Stylebender was the better man last night. Congratulations to him. I know our paths will cross again. This setback, as well as all my other setbacks, have made me a better person and mixed martial artist. One thing about me is I always come back stronger after each loss. I can't wait for the future. I'm 27 and we're only getting started. To God be all the glory for all his blessings, because he is good all the time. The mission for gold continues. See you around, folks, on a mission for gold. This is what martial arts is about. It's not about the win or the loss. It's about becoming a better person. That is what I see from Kelvin, now and in the future. It's been the narrative throughout his career. Nothing but respect, brother. Hear nothing but praise from Adesanya as well. As from one genuine article, naturally, he acknowledges the other. Despite this loss, Kelvin will still be one of my favorite fighters because he is a manifestation of overcoming the odds through technique, doing so time and time again. With that said, I cannot wait for what's next with Adesanya, overcoming such a monster. Anyone who's followed this sport knows what Kelvin is. Overcoming that, it will be interesting seeing how his game levels up. Only time will tell.